Hey guys, Rick and Duke. Welcome to another episode of Warhog Words of Wisdom. So kind of in this episode, we're going to talk about Police Week and what that all entails. But first, let me do some quick housekeeping. So first and foremost, if you are an active law enforcement officer looking for free training, Project Officer Survival has you covered June 6th and 7th at the Element Training Complex in Holt, Florida. We're offering a one-day red dot pistol course supported by Walther, who's going to provide PDP pistols, aim point for aim point acros, and Safariland using Safariland holsters. Again, go to warhog.com, register for that. So check it out. You're sitting there going, well, Rick, you're cheating us, man. What about us civilians and military? No problem, guys. We got you covered. Check it out. Come out. We've got vendors out there on site. So yes, Walther, aim point, Safariland will be out there. We'll have Contact Industries with the mobile shoot house. Force on Force will be out there to use some of their ammo through the shoot house. ICC will be providing ammo for the live fire bays, marathon targets with moving targets out there, grizzly targets with their steel. Man, there is so much more. Food trucks out there, all kinds of stuff going on. So come swing by, as we're dubbing it, Vendor Village. Check out the vendors we have June 6th and 7th, Holt, Florida, Element Training Complex. The vendor event is open to the public. Easy place to register for law enforcement officers, warhog.com. You're going to see pick either the 6th or the 7th. One thing we're asking is, hey, just limit it to 2 officers per agency. So we're not looking for the same agency to kind of swing in there. If you're looking for training down the road, reach out to us. We'll be more than willing to come out and help you guys out with that one. Since you're out there at warhog.com, might as well sign up for the newsletter. Trust me, we'll not inundate you with a bunch of them. One-man show here at warhog.com. We get the newsletters out kind of, if you want to say every week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, hey, kind of whatever fits to get information out there. But really wanted to push the free law enforcement firearms training, specifically to the red dot pistol. If you don't have it, not a big deal. We will provide it for you. All you need is 400 rounds of 9mm ammunition. Man, old T-shirt, eyes, ears, bring a belt so we can put that holster and mag pouch on. And man, let's get ready for a good day of training. Guys, don't forget, swing by patreon.com/On the Range podcast. Become a member of the crew. 100+ training videos, exclusive content only for our crew members. And yes, since it is Police Week, and yes, for my law enforcement officers, we do have special tier pricing just for you guys. So let's dig into Police Week a little bit. If you kind of knew the show, obviously, you know, we're super big supporters of law enforcement. If you notice my Eagles and Angels hat here, I got the blue uniform back there. That is actually part of Mark Kelly's old uniform in there. So I want to read to you verbatim so I don't mess this up. Reference Police Week. So in 1962, President Kennedy proclaimed May 15th as National Police Officer Memorial Day, and the calendar week, which May 15th falls as the National Police Week, established by a joint resolution of Congress in 1962. National Police Week pays special recognition to those law enforcement officers that have that have lost their lives in the line of duty for safety and protection of others. So let me give you some stats here real quick. There's over 23,000 law enforcement officers on there. That includes the 4-legged ones as well. So we seem to forget, you know, especially from the LE side. Yes, we've got the human counterpart. We also got our 4-legged canine partners as well. I can tell you firsthand, you know, from military working dog overseas, those dogs save lives. Same thing with the police dogs, right? Biggest thing across the board that I'll say for my law enforcement officers is you guys have got to put the time in on your own to get that training in. It has to happen. Unfortunately, agencies aren't going to cut the time. Time short, budgets are short. I got it. All these other things going on. But I can't stress enough, you guys have got to take the time to do some training on your own. And I got it. You're going to go, Rick, I don't have the money. I don't have this. I don't have whatever. I get it. Project Officer Survival, man. We offer free law enforcement firearms training. If you're in the Florida area, and again, where we're close to Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, swing on by, sign up for the course, right? But here's the thing. Dry fire costs you nothing. You can get out there and practice your skills dry. I'd recommend you have a plan. Use something like the firearms training notebook to develop, hey, man, where am I sitting at? If you don't have a pro timer, I'd recommend getting one, because that's the only way you're going to know, hey man, is my training paying off? Am I hitting those marks I need to? Big thing right now, is you've got guys struggling with a level 3 retention holster. And okay, I sit there and go, how much time are we putting in? And there'll be some videos coming out. We will put them on the website because we know that's a constant, but they'll be floating out on the different social platforms as well. But again, how I break drawing the pistol out of the holster. We don't go straight from the draw. We start with the presentation. Again, if I can get guys to master this presentation, especially where so many agencies are starting to transition over to the red dot pistol, dude, that's the biggest thing I see, is I see guys struggling just to get that presentation to find the dot. Once we get that presentation worked out, yeah, then we'll start talking about, hey, hands above, hands below, how we defeating our different retention devices, how we getting that pistol out, and then kind of culminate it with, hey, understanding if you wait to the end of that beep of the pro timer, and I get it, the pro timer, it's slightly artificial, right? Because you're not going to go off of audio stimulus. Typically, you're going to sit there, see some type of individual there. Is he a threat? Is he not? Identify, hey, first and foremost, does he have a weapon? Does he not? And then you go into your use of force continuum. But right now, the pro timer at least gives you a tool where you can do that. Now, sit there, talk about something turning target. Grizzly Targets has their new shoot no shoot system, where it is a mobile turning target system. You can either put steel in there, you can put paper. Again, what a great tool to sit there and go, boom, can you identify, is that a threat or is it not? And then we're looking at, kind of the react. Is your pistol always going to be out? May not. Numerous different ways law enforcement can train, but too many times I see guys wanting to trim corners, trim fat. Let me put my hood down. Hey man, if I ain't cheating, I ain't trying. Well, you're not training either. If you're sitting there out in the range and you struggle, bam, you go to sit there and roll the hood, hit the ALS, something doesn't happen. Dude, stay in the fight. Don't just give up and go, hey man, I'm going to bail out of this thing, I'll get it next rep. No, because that's not real. You got to sit there and go, can I get this pistol out of the holster? Even if I have a fumble, whatever the case may be, you've got to work through it. And the only way you find out if you've got these deficiencies is in training. And then in turn, make sure you're putting some notes in the firearms training notebook. Hey man, struggling here, need to work this. This worked well, this didn't. Whatever it may be. But guys, in law enforcement, right? I'm gonna harp the law enforcement thing here because we do a lot of law enforcement training. This analogy of, hey, we train to the lowest common denominator. No, I disagree. Right? What's that firearms instructor doing to kind of get everyone at the same status quo? Quit looking at the target. Watch your student. See what your student's doing. Give him input. Quit slapping the trigger. Dude, it's not always that. Right? Granted, there is some cases where you do have input from the student into the firearm, which is causing the shot to be off. Yes. There's all kinds of other issues that go on. But if we keep looking at the target, you're not going to see what that student's doing. So just food for thought on that one. But kind of getting back to police week and the whole premise, right, is I would ask you guys this week, just take a moment, right? You may not know a law enforcement officer. You may know one, you may know several, but take a moment, think of them, the sacrifice that was given, and then really pray for those families, the families left behind. And what I would say to my current law enforcement officers out there is, guys, don't cheat your family. Put the time in. I guarantee if you tell your wife, tell your kids, wait till they go to bed, do whatever the case may be, and go, hey, I'm taking 5 minutes and I'm just going to go dry fire. And you go, Rick, I don't have 5 minutes. I guarantee if I look at your screen time, you got 5 minutes, right? Get off the phone, take 5 minutes each day. Just do some firearms manipulation, whether it's draw from the holster, whether it's mag change, whether it's whatever it needs to be that you are deficient on, just presentation, something. Right? Improve your skills. God forbid you're in that deadly force encounter. I want each and every one of you to come home. I don't want to see another law enforcement officer killed. But too many times we see that, hey man, the situation could have been avoided if I just had some better skills. If I could have identified that threat a little bit quicker. What are we doing? Try to train yourself to be as efficient as you can. Because to me, it's not a question of if. It used to be if, right? We were in a very violent world. We got people that don't care. God knows how many millions of people in this country illegally that somehow get guns, or worse yet, you've got departments hiring illegals, Or, now you want to go, oh yeah, they can have guns too. No, they are here illegally. And officers, man, you guys, you got your backs against the wall with that. But I just tell everyone listening, please just take a moment. Just think of the 23,000 plus officers, both human and canine, that we've lost. And just take a moment to reflect on that. They are out there every day trying to keep this country safe. And too many of them are dying. And in my opinion, a lot of the issues boil down in training. So LEOs, just do a favor for your family. Don't do it for me. Do it for you. Do it for your family. Put that time in and get some dry fire training in. And then, hey, if it permits, get to the range. That department gives you ammo, confirm your marksmanship. But again, use something like the firearms training notebook to have a plan. Again, big week within the law enforcement community. Guys, know several officers out there that have been killed in the line of duty. My hat goes off to them. If you are up in the DC area, swing by the Law Enforcement Museum, you're going to see a specific pickup truck in there. And it's all shot up. And that would be Mike Neal's pickup truck. If you don't know who Mike is, he was a guest in the show. Google his name. You'll find the episode. Absolutely incredible story. What happened with him and West Memphis, and really how he came to the aid of some officers in need. And again, as a wildlife officer, right, you don't typically expect those guys to get into the fight, although they're around armed individuals all the time. Mike heard the call over the radio, already had a couple officers killed. Unbeknownst, I think it came out later on, found out where these suspects were at, and ends up, in basically a car length gunfight with two sovereign citizens, and did what he had to do that day. And in turn, his pickup truck is in the National Law Enforcement Museum. So listen to Mike's story. Incredible story. Law enforcement officers, trust me, you guys will get huge benefits out of listening to that episode, kind of Mike's lessons learned, and just food for thought for you guys down the road. Again, can't stress enough the June 6th, 7th. It is June 6th or June 7th, although the event's going both days. Denver Village will be up both days. But the training is a one-day training event, one-day red dot pistol for the law enforcement officer, active. 2 individuals per agency, swing by warhog.com and register for that. Couple slots left. I mean, they're not going to be filled for long, and I got it. A lot of agencies don't put out those calendars till 2 weeks out. So I'm sure guys are going, hey, am I off? Am I not? Working their coordinations. But yeah, once they filled, they're filled. But if you're looking for training, definitely reach out. Patrons, as always, stand by. We have more stuff for you. That's right, guys. Our patrons get a little add-on to the podcast. If you want to be part of it, here at Rick's Gotta Say post-show, super easy. Swing by patreon.com/On the Range podcast. Become a member of the crew. That's the only way you're going to hear these additional words of wisdom. So for all my law enforcement officers out there, concealed carry holders, military, whatever you may be, guys, remember, train hard, stay safe. We'll see you on the range. Patrons, stand by for more content. Rick and Duco out.